9:34 these days, the idea of a woman freezing her eggs is certainly becoming more mainstream. Last year, Facebook made headlines when it announced it would cover the cost of the procedure. For more on this, I'm joined by fertility physician Dr. Aimee and Dr. Nikki Goldstein. Dr. Goldstein is a 30-year-old doctor of human sexuality who made the decision to freeze her eggs at the age of 30. She's also the author of Single But Dating, a book about being a single woman in the day's world. Thank you so much, doctors. And I'll start with you, Dr. Aimee.
Sure.
We talked about the fact during the break that the average age of the woman who comes to you for help in having a baby is not 30 like you are, Dr. Nikki.
Right, it's 39. And most of them, if you were to ask them, would you have wanted to use your frozen eggs, let's say at 28 or 32 right now, they all say yes. They all wish that someone would have talked to them about fertility when they were younger. And so that's what I'm here to do, is just to educate women across the country and world about their own fertility and how you can check your fertility levels so that they can know what their options are.
But so often at age, and I'll turn to you, Dr. Nikki, at age 24, 26, even 28, the last thing we're thinking about is having babies. I want to get a good job, I have to finish my education, I have to try to buy a house and find the right partner for me. Were you in that situation?
Well, I just found a lot of women are not considering their fertility, and we're told all the time that 30 is the new 40 and we're young and we've got so much ahead of us, but then our biological clock hasn't changed. And I think that's what really shocked me when I started doing the research for the book, because it was that personal link, and I realized that I was that woman that if I really was serious about one day becoming a mother and sitting there at 29 not being in a position where that was going to happen anytime soon, I thought, well, this is something that I should do now. And a lot of people turned around to me and kept saying, oh, you're too young, don't worry about it, go out there and date and focus on finding a partner and all that kind of things. But for me, it was the right decision. And when I went through it, I realized it's something that more women in that age bracket really need to be considering.
And you documented your journey in a video documentary, and it is not all champagne and roses. You are bloated, you are emotional. I mean, was it what you expected?
It wasn't, and that's why I'm so happy now to come out with that piece, because I did make the decision to document it because I felt that there wasn't enough information out there, but also there just wasn't the conversations that were being had. But what surprised me was how much of a struggle it was, but I felt that that was really important to show women, because I would have liked to have seen that before I went through my process, because I feel that when you've got that knowledge of maybe what's ahead of you, it's a little bit easier. It was also other women that had been through it that were not talking about it, who were in contact with me saying, don't worry, I went through that too, and that's how I felt. And that made me feel normal and not crazy. So, if this can do that for other people, then I'm happy it's out there.
And you're calling egg freezing a partial backup plan, but you say more than anything, it has now freed you up to find true love, not just someone to make a baby with because, oh my goodness, I'm almost 40.
Yeah. I do find that when we're so focused on procreation, we're looking at someone based on a dating wish list. Do they meet these criteria? Because quick, I'm running out of time, I have to find someone to procreate with. I find that when you've got that partial backup plan, you can start looking at things like a connection. Does this feel right? Is this a healthy relationship? The things that a relationship should be built on in order to survive and in order to put children into the mix and the chaos that comes with it. And I feel like that's something that women should be doing, looking whether they freeze their eggs or not, looking at those relationships based on a real connection, not just looking at a man based on, is he going to give me the child that I've always wanted?
Do you think, Dr. Aimee, about companies such as Facebook offering their female employees financial incentives to freeze their eggs? Some people might say, you know what, that's just so I can work harder for Facebook when I'm in my 20s and put off something that I might want to do for myself personally.
I mean, I think Facebook covering egg freezing was one of the best things that could have happened in this country, because we can now talk about egg freezing at the dinner table without feeling like it's taboo. A lot of people thought that it was for that purpose, so women could work longer, delay childbearing, and be more productive in the workforce. But in fact, it was an employee who had cancer who went to HR and said, look, I can't afford egg freezing and I'm going to lose my fertility because of cancer treatment. And Facebook said, of course we should cover it. And so it's coming from the employees. Employees are going to HR. They're demanding, they're asking, they're saying, look, this other company is covering egg freezing. Do it for us too. So I don't think it's from the companies trying to keep women from procreating and being mothers at a younger age. It's because they're seeing that there's this need in society.
I remember when I was in my late 20s, I would see Hollywood stars giving birth to twins at the age of 44 and everything was fine. And someone said, they all have help from doctors like you, Dr. Aimee, but nobody talks about it. Is that changing? I mean, we're talking about it here.
Right. I mean, it's not across the board, not just in this country, but around the world, women are delaying childbearing. The age of first birth in this area is about 33, and there are many women who are in their 30s who have run out of eggs.
Wow.
But if they had, let's say, known earlier that maybe that was something that's going to happen to them by checking their fertility hormones, seeing a doctor, they would have had the option to freeze their eggs when they were younger.
Thinking about it, so average age here is 33. Nationwide, I think
Exactly.
it's 26.
Right, and
so we're a lot later than the rest of the country.
We're a lot later, absolutely, in this area.
Well, Dr. Aimee, Dr. Nikki, thank you to you both. I hope your story will help get people thinking about it even more. Mike and Sal, back to you guys.
All right, thank you, guys.